What's up, everybody? This is BakaBites. I'm Frankfurter. That is Magically Average. And today, let's talk about the movies. Now, I know we've talked about the movies before in this podcast for various different reasons. Today, we're having a head to head. We are having a comparison head to head of the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie, which, if you want to hear our thoughts and opinions about that, go watch, I think, last week's episode or two
No,
weeks ago,
2 weeks
something
ago.
like that. 2 weeks ago at this point. Yeah, time flies. Go watch our 2 weeks episode or 2 weeks ago's episode, and you can hear all of our thoughts. But today
Yay.
we are going to be talking about the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie versus the Chainsaw Man Reze Arc movie, and for good reason. So, first and foremost, let's get a little bit of the formalities out of the way, the easy stuff to talk about, the kind of low hanging fruit. Chainsaw Man finally like dethroned Demon Slayer for best movie in the Japanese box office this past weekend. It sold excuse me, 1.251 billion yen, or about 8.45 million worth of tickets in its opening weekend, while Demon Slayer sold 390,000 tickets, which equated to 645 million yen, or about 4.36 million, and ranked number 2. Now, keep in mind, this is also the ninth week that Demon Slayer has been out, so that's still pretty damn good numbers for,
Yeah.
week 9. I do think that Chainsaw Man is a bit more, I won't say niche in Japan, but, it's not as loved as Demon Slayer is, so I could see next weekend Demon Slayer dethroning Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
But it's exciting news because it shows that people are going to see the movie, they've enjoyed it. The movie actually last week got an announcement that it was coming out earlier in the United States. It, hopped up from October 29th to October 24th.
Yeah.
Tickets are still not out quite yet, but, I'm looking forward to when they are so I can get mine. But with the numbers out of the way, let's talk about the movies themselves. Now, obviously enough, we don't live in Japan. We've not seen the Chainsaw Man movie. However, you and I have both read the manga, and we will keep this as spoiler free as possible. But with having read the manga and knowing the what's to come and how much of the manga it covers as a whole, I think that this movie's going to be a lot better than the Demon Slayer movie, in my opinion. I think that the things, while Demon Slayer as a uh, series, I think you and I are just like we're okay on the story, while we do like the story more in Chainsaw Man.
Mhm.
I think that just outside, if we put the story to the side, I think that the pacing and the amount that it is going to cover in a movie will be a lot better than what Demon Slayer did with the first Infinity Castle movie.
Yeah, I
And
mean
I will turn it over to you and just see if you feel the same way.
I mean, to put it simply, Chainsaw Man was strategic in their decision to make the Reze Arc a movie. Demon Slayer was just like, "Wanna print money, everyone?" That's it.
Yeah.
That's to boil it down to its simplest form, like, that's the true comparison, right? Like, I keep seeing reviews of Demon Slayer, and obviously it's done really well domestically here. It just dethroned Pokemon, the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, as the highest grossing anime film in the United States. So obviously, and it's a huge fan base here too. It's the same thing with like Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, like all those series that had movies coming out, like people would flock to the theaters just because it's had a huge following domestically. Chainsaw Man has a big fan base, but to your point too, I think even in Japan, same here. I don't think it's as big as the fans for Demon Slayer, or those other
No.
series I mentioned, and I think it's because like Chainsaw Man's just it's weird. It's abnormal. It's not like the same kind of form fitting shonen type series. Like it's kind of an off the wall one that is I don't want to say it's artistically like artsy fartsy type. I don't know how to explain it.
I wouldn't
Fujimoto
even put it that. I'd just be like horny boy horny, and that's
no,
just very basic
no,
in
but
that
like
sense. But it does go deep.
but I
It
was gonna
does
say,
run deep. Yeah.
yeah, as it progresses, there's a lot more. There's more layers to it, right? Like whereas Demon Slayer kind of upfront shows you just how deep it's really going to go. Same with My Hero Academia. Same with, like, I don't know, we'll pick on Spy Family too, right? Like, there's not a lot of layers to them,
Yeah.
right? The stories are good enough. The animation is superb. The characters are fine, right? It's just your
Yeah.
kind of run of the mill shonen series, easy entry point for a lot of viewers, whether you're new or old, doesn't matter. Chainsaw Man's, it's just kind of in its weird own bucket. And I think it's because it's Fujimoto, right? Like, he wrote Fire Punch, and Fire Punch is fucking insane in the membrane. And all the people that used to work
Yeah.
and like worked under Fujimoto as well, they went off to make amazing series too, but are also like not easy barrier. Like, they have high barriers of entry because it's just very weird off the wall stuff, like Hell's Paradise. Like, I love that series. Not an easy one to get into. It's kind of fucked up in a way, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
just so. Taking that in consideration, like, I still think Demon Slayer is going to do significantly better here than Chainsaw Man, and I think it's going to do significantly better over its time airing in Japan than Chainsaw Man will. But
Yeah.
the key factor to this whole thing, and why, in my opinion, the Chainsaw Man movie is definitively better than the Demon Slayer movie, is because they made a strategic and perfect decision to condense the Reze arc into just a movie rather than try to stretch it out over a single season, or, God forbid, do some weird choppiness to it to make it into somewhat of a cohesive season. They were like, hey, here's how long this arc is in the upcoming chapters. What could we feasibly do with it? And we both know that Fujimoto's been working closely with Mappa, like doing the entire first season too, so I'm sure was closely involved for the movie, and probably went, honestly, either a short 6-episode season, or fuck it, let's just do a movie. And they picked movie. And I am 110% on board. Because it just makes sense. Demon Slayer, on the other
Yeah.
hand,
No.
they're like, how do we keep just churning out cash? Fuck the fans. Fuck any sort of decency when it comes to making an anime. How do we just milk this sucker for everything it's got? I know. Let's make a season, 8 episodes, covering 8 chapters, which is unfucking heard of. And then for the remaining, what did we say there was? Like 30.
66. Well, there's 66 chapters between the Infinity Castle arc and the like final quote unquote arc.
So
'Cause there's
supposedly, over the next 3 well, we've already seen the first
2
one.
movies.
Next 2 movies, 3 movies in total, they're going to cover 66 chapters, which by my math is very easily
22.
Go ahead.
It's 22 a movie. It's 22 a movie.
Yeah. We always say after a season of anime, usually like right around 3 volumes. Usually. It varies.
I'd say 4 is the average. 4 is probably the average to 5. 3 is rare.
So
More than 5 is rarer.
Yeah. So let's split the difference. We'll say 4. Every volume usually has like what? 12 to 15 chapters, depending on the style of writing.
Usually 10.
No, some of them have 12.
And some are 12, but mostly they're about 10 to 12. They're somewhere in that range.
Okay. We'll say 12 because I think you're wrong. I think it's closer to 12-ish, 13.
Fair enough. But continue.
Well, at least the English ones, right? Because sometimes the Japanese ones are shorter when they come over to English.
Nope. Unless it's a double volume. No, they're generally the same length. It's just they're smaller books.
But the point I'm trying to make is, like, they could have done an entire season for this last bit. Hell, you could have done the training arc as one episode.
As a movie.
No, as one episode. Why do I need to see Tanjiro go to every single Hashira and have a conversation for a full episode, and then like 2 minutes of actual things happen and then he leaves? Just, it can be one episode. We all know it. I digress. You could have done one season with maybe like a special episode at the end, right? Like a long episode, like an hour ending, right? Just to kind of cap it off a finale. But no, you did a season of anime and now 3 movies for what is effectively 74 chapters in total. Gross. Gross.
To put into perspective, the Mugen Train arc was 13 chapters. So just to put a little perspective in
Gross.
there.
Yeah, and nothing
Now
happened for like most of that movie. They went into the
now
dream world and there was one fight that took 2 minutes and then there was a last fight that everyone was like what the fuck that took like felt like an hour and then it ended on
yeah.
like an awkward note. That wasn't great either.
No, it wasn't. Anyways, Chainsaw Man, on the other hand, this movie arc is going to be covering 14 chapters, which is on par with about Mugen Train, which is the perfect amount. Looking at how many chapters there are per arc, the first season covered about, I think it was 36. No, it was 38 chapters. And after the Reze arc, which is coming out in theaters, we will have 45. So theoretically, they could fit that into a full season because
Yeah.
they did take their sweet time. They did, 2 episodes for 4 chapters total. So they took their sweet time with season one. They could probably progress the story a little bit faster to the point where they can get through the remainder in like a 12 to 13 episode. If
The
not, what I would love to see them do is do a 15 episode like final season for this part.
yeah.
But
Well, the first, I mean, it's been
yeah,
a while since I've read Chainsaw Man, but the first like I want to say volume or 2 is just very dense. There's a lot that goes on in it. So it doesn't
there's a
surprise me
lot of
if
information.
you told me there was one episode that took 2 chapters, I'd be like, I could see it. There's a lot of pages where it's just pure dialogue constantly. Like there's like no stop. He's also weird in his writing too because he'll have chapters that are like insanely long, it feels like, and then chapters that are like feels like 6 pages.
Yeah.
So
But
it's all off the
but
wall.
yeah, to the point though is that 14 chapters is really conducive to a good length of a movie and putting it in
Yeah,
theaters. Like if we're gonna put like My Hero Academia aside, because My Hero Academia is more so non-canon, fun, just have a good time movies. Same with the Spy Family movie; it's non-canon.
which I like.
It's just a fun dude. I still am so mad that that Spy Family movie isn't canon. Like that's what I wanted from Spy Family,
But
and
that
it's just and they gave it to us in a movie. I'm like, "This is what we want. Please,
but
please give this to us."
that's the opportunity for like studios and the creator to just
I
go hog
I
wild, like
know.
just have fun, right? Like all the My Hero Academia
I mean,
movies, thoughts aside on the series as a whole, but like all the movies are just kind of a fun watch. You
yeah.
know, they're not fantastic, they're not bad, they're just a fun watch.
Yeah, no, agreed. But 14 chapters for a movie is like I feel like canonically, or not canonically, but like if you're gonna adapt a movie, I think like that 13 to 16, maybe 18 chapters is a great sweet spot. Because
G-
22 for the first Demon Slayer movie being at 2.5 hours is way too fucking much.
There,
But if you could fit 20 or 18 chapters or less in a 2 hour or less movie, I'm all for it.
yeah, I will say
And
too,
so
like
that's why I think that this movie will be a bit more well received on our part. I don't know about the general audience because a lot of people have opinions about this show and series. So
I
yeah,
just
I mean it's also comparing ducks to oranges essentially with Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man.
the so with the Mugen Train aside too, because like the movie itself, albeit pacing being weird at times, like it
Yeah, the
didn't
Mugen Train
feel
movie was too long as well.
because how long was it? I can't even remember it. I think I watched it the one time and I was like,
It
I'm okay.
was I'm looking it up, so give me a
If you
minute.
say it's more than 2 hours, I will be shocked.
God damn
Because
it, it's
I
not on the
honestly,
fucking
I
Wikipedia.
can tell you what happened when they went into the dream world. I can tell you, I can't even tell you what happens during the fight with the actual like train, and then I can tell you
Yeah.
what happened at the end. There's that's all I can remember from it.
So it was close. It was an hour 57.
Okay, that seems
So it's
fair.
just under 2 hours.
That seems fair. Because I'm like, God,
Yeah.
I can't remember much from that movie. Like again, pacing aside from that, could I see it being a movie, I guess, since it's 14 chapters? Fine. Is it really weird to do it after the first season? Yeah. Counterpoint, Chainsaw Man's doing it after its first season. You can make the same argument. It's just this arc, and again, I keep harping on how Fujimoto writes, but it kind of goes to it, like how everything is written and progresses throughout his story, throughout part 1 of Chainsaw Man. It's very methodical, and he's very diligent about when he introduces characters and how long they stick around and giving them enough time, right? And it doesn't feel like he's, I guess, taking any shortcuts in doing it, which I like.
Yeah.
The Reze Arc, though, is one of the few ones where I'm like, wow, it feels like you blink and it's done.
Yeah.
Like
No,
when you
you're
read
not
it, it's
wrong
like
there.
you blink and it's done. So making that in its own season would be awkward. That being said, there's so much stuff that happens in it, right?
Well, yeah, and to your point though, like about season length or arc lengths and blink and it's done. I feel like the first few, despite the fact that they are shorter than the 14 chapters that is the Reze arc, they also just like cover so much and they blend so well together that you
Yeah.
don't realize one arc is over and the next has begun until it's pretty much halfway through and you're like, oh yeah, I guess that's true. But this one being 14, it almost feels like a standalone kind of story within that's canonical.
Yep.
Because it just like, I mean, we'll see the movie. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's just like it happens, and
It
then you move on.
basically, think about it as Denji goes on a side quest and we get to meet some more fun characters.
And characters that stick around
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
long
yeah.
haul.
They're around, but that's kind of it.
Yeah,
It's like a great. I'm trying not to give spoilers. It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. I'm mentally saying that so that I don't feel bad. It's not a spoiler. It's a great, like, misdirection for viewers, those who have not read the series, to go into like
hmm,
the ending of season 1, right? Kind of on a high note, we get to see a little teaser, which we were both like, "Oh my god." Into this movie that's a full swing of emotions, and you'll probably feel, well, we'll say there's probably just only a few emotions you'll feel at the end of the movie, okay? And then you're going to go into the inevitable season 2, which is just it's going to be poetry. The parody of it all is going to be perfection. I think that's what I like about it most, right? Because again, I know I was the one that said it, but I kind of like it. It's like you're seeing Denji go on a side quest. Okay, that's what it is. Having it be like the
yeah,
beginning of a season would feel weird. It would feel a little clunky, right? Again,
yeah. No, it would.
not trying to be hypocritical. You could actually say that about Mugen Train too. I get it. They're going on a little side quest. Did I feel like it was still odd? Yeah. Again, pacing was weird. I think a lot of people, you would agree with this, I would assume, say that if you just take out the last 20 minutes of the movie, it wouldn't be bad. Like it would be good.
I'd really enjoy it.
Yeah. It's just that last 20 minutes that felt
Thoroughly.
really awkward.
Yeah,
Now,
fucking made the movie shit.
yeah. Now, thinking with,
I like how you're
20
agreeing with me, but every other time we've talked about the fucking Mugen Train, you've never once been on my side. Just love that. Just
I
want to point that out.
because I didn't mind the movie. I thought the movie was fine. I don't remember
I
shit about
fucking
it.
hated it.
That's the thing. It's forgettable. Apart from the parts that I said, I remember the dreamscape sequences. I remember the ending fight. I don't remember them fighting the actual train. I don't remember what happens when they get on the train or any sequences. I remember Rengoku saying "tasty" like 5,000 times and like yelling it. That's all. That's all I remember.
Yep.
Okay, so like I can't say anything bad about it. I remember the pacing being weird. I remember the last fight being like, well, what the hell? That was weird. But trying to play both sides as much as possible. How do you start off the second season with that fight? That'd be really fucked. That'd be fucked.
I mean, here's the thing,
Do
though.
I think
Like,
they could have put more into it and taken out some
so
sequences that were really fucking boring? Yeah, probably. Why wouldn't you just continue with a little bit of the first episode of season 2 and just kind of meld that in, and then you have a perfect sequencing into the entertainment district, which is definitively the best arc in the series.
Yep. So here's the thing, and I'm gonna counterpoint it twice. One,
Wouldn't that be
there
then
is a
you're
show
agreeing
that
with me?
there is a sh- no,
Oh,
no, no, counter it.
you have 2
There's a show
counterpoints. Got it.
Correct. There is a show that did it j just this season and did it wonderfully, and made the next season anticipation just that much more unbearable, and that is Don to Don. They left it off on a cliffhanger like no other, and
Well,
the
yeah,
way,
because
like, 'cause
Don and
but
Down felt was
that's
like
the
it felt
same
like a
thing.
2 core.
You end the movie with a demon showing up, and you're like, "Okay, to be continued next season," and then it's just like, no, 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 I'm saying how season 2 ends, not season 1. Season 2, the way it ended and the way it ended the cliffhanger is basically very similar in the sense of this.
Season 2 of
You
Down to Down?
defeated Yes. The one that just ended this past week,
Well, I
this
haven't
last
seen it
Thursday.
yet. Calm down.
Oh, okay, well, then I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, no, Don to Don season 2 leaves on a wonderfully just funny cliffhanger, which knowing how it, like, continues is absolutely fucking hilarious. But it's also very parallel to Mugen Train. They beat the train and then demon appears, and it's like, cool, they start the fight with the demon. This one, they beat I will say in, I won't, like, say specifics, but, like, they beat a thing, and at the very beginning of season 3, we'll see what happens. It's pretty comical. But there's that. So, A, saying that it would suck that way to just leave it like a cliffhanger, like, that would suck. No, it's done if it's done right, it'll be wonderful.
I
Counterpoint 2 or counter 2, Entertainment District was 15 episodes. If you take, like, the last 20, 30 minutes of whatever this fight was, you can tack it on as, like, 2 more episodes or even just draw out the Entertainment District arc a little bit more just for the fact that I feel like they could have like, they flushed out that world or that area so well, but I feel like they could have done a bit more with it in the search for the demons. Like, it was like, "Okay, once we start searching," they, like, instantly found them. I feel like if you draw that out a little bit more like a Scooby Doo mystery, I think it would have been really fun and
well,
still held the audience's attention.
like they're running in a straight
And
line
make
between
that
the buildings, and then the demons pop out, and they're like, "There they are!" And they run through a bunch of different buildings, and then they start getting crisscrossed.
not
Talking like that
necessarily like
Scooby Doo
that, but
bullshit.
yeah, like, following, like, the trail of clues and then finding them, and rather than just like, "Oh, here they are," and then just going into battle. I feel like that way you can make, like, a 20 episode season or, 22 if you wanted to, but I feel like they had a lot on the like, cutting board that they could have done there that they just didn't. Like, they
My
could have left it to the, like, or, like, the director's discretion to add something that
so
felt livable in that world.
so that's gonna be my point, and I know these words are probably gonna come back to bite me because I know I've been on the opposite side too, and again, I feel like it's subjective. I'm not a director, not a producer, not an author. So I really don't know the intricacies of what goes into these conversations. I will say though that as an avid reader and one who consumes a lot of this media, you can really tell the series, even if you've only watched it or read it, you can look at them and go, okay, what makes the most sense when translating it over into anime, right? So this speaks highly to like series that you read when they're inevitably adapted, or just kind of hypothesizing how exactly you would adapt it, right? I feel like a lot of times series, and Demon Slayer is certainly one of them after the extensive research I've been doing on just what all has been captured, they're too married to the source material that they don't want to sacrifice even one sliver of it. And I feel like that's to their detriment. And I say that because slam your keyboard. Get mad. Yeah.
No, that
Fuck
was
that.
my little Bochi figure here fell
Yeah,
over.
because
It's not the
Bochi's
most
pissed. She's
stable
like,
thing.
yeah. Tell it how it
It
is.
is it is
So
it is the dinosaur bochi, so
yeah, but like
anyways, sorry, continue.
so like with Demon Slayer, it's it just feels like they don't want to sacrifice any of the source material to make the anime better. Because there's a lot of things you can nitpick about it, and I think it really boils down to just they kept it one for one, like they kept it as true to the story as they possibly could. But I feel like that's its downfall.
So they're gonna get burned by the fans who want, like, more better
There's
like, better pacing/art slash art direction, but then they're gonna get spit
scolded.
roasted by the people if they go that direction, then they
Yep.
get spit roasted by the people who are like, "It's not the one for one!"
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And like, look,
Like, there's no appeasing the anime
no,
community. There's
no,
not.
I get that, but you, there are ways to stay true to the identity of this of a series and the source material and not like butcher it to all hell while still making it like an anime that is actually enjoyable to watch. Okay, because if you look at Demon Slayer as a whole, season 1 is just fine. A lot of people rave about it. I would argue that it's mainly just because of the animation, but that aside,
Yep.
season 1 is just
It
three.
is the most boring season outside of, Hashira training arc.
Mm, if you want my honest opinion, Swordsmith Village arc is one of my most hated seasons. I don't even consider Hashira Training Arc a season. Okay, at this stage,
That's fair. Fair
like
enough.
it's a mini series that they just threw in because they're like, we need to save time and make some more money. Um, but season 1 is you go the call to action. You go through your training. You get through your first battle during the training arc, right? Then you recover and you do some more training, and then you get your another call of action, and you meet a character, and then you do a thing, and then you recover and you do some more training. And then you get your third call of action, and you, with all your buddies, you go out there, you beat some demons, you get injured, you get some recovery, and you do some more training. Right? Like, if I'm being real here, probably could have cut out just a sliver of the recovery and training stuff. Because the amount of times that I had to see the goddamn butterfly house and watch Tanjiro blow into a gourd or run across rooftops or do a stupid like yelling exercise stuff or Inosuke screaming and running up walls or Zenitsu being a perv and chasing after the girls. Like, I'm like, okay, let's chop out some of the fat. Like let's thin this out because I really don't need to watch the same sequence. We did this like 3 episodes ago, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's
You're
stuff
not
like
wrong.
it's stuff like that. And again, I know I'm gonna sound hypocritical, and I said at the beginning these words are probably gonna come back and bite me. But like, I don't mind it with series that I read too. Like, there's plenty of series that I've read all the way through that are now getting adapted, where I'm like, I really don't need to see all of this just fluff. I don't need to see like pan shots of all this stuff where nothing's happening. I don't need to see even this whole sequence of stuff happening because realistically, there's no progression. Like, nothing truly comes about from this. It's just kind of there as a placeholder to just set up something else. But you can fill it in easily, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's where I think that's where like directors have the biggest say. Obviously, like that's their whole role. That's why we rave about the Bocchi the Rock director, because they're like, how do we take a 4-panel manga and turn it into something incredible? You fill it in with a bunch of awesome stuff that's not there, but you make it cohesive. Like, you make it feel like it's a one unified story. And they did a
Right.
fantastic job. Now it's on like the opposite side where you're like, okay, you have everything in front of you. Sure, you could fit it all in there. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna feel clunky. It's not gonna translate over to the screen that well, but you can. Or, and here's a thought, let's just trim out some stuff, right? Let's meld it together. Let's make it make sense. And again, I know fans are going
Yeah.
to be all up in arms and stuff, but it's just it goes
So,
for it's yeah. I was
yeah,
going to
no,
mention
and
Harry
I
Potter,
think
and then
just
people were going to really freak out.
no, we're not even gonna touch
But it's a
that.
good example. It's a good
It
example.
is. It is a good
But people
example, but
people
we're
freak out about it. They're like, "There's the whole fucking the key sequence with the fucking Sorcerer's Stone." And I'm like, "Oh my god, was it still a good movie?" They're like, "Yeah." They're like cool. It would have been like 5 hours if
shut up.
it would have been 5 hours if they kept everything in it.
Now moving this conversation right along, I will say I will be upset if they do another movie for Chainsaw Man for part 1. Because
I
right now, like, we are getting through part 1, there's a definitive end to part 1 before part 2 starts. If they do another movie inside of part 1, I will be not very upset, but I will be upset for the fact that
yeah.
it's not needed. I think that everything else that happens after this arc is kinda like season 1 where it can blend together very well. It is very seamless, it's very action heavy,
Oh yeah.
and you can get through it rather quickly. You can cut some of the fluff and get through it like that, and make it feel like a good season of television.
Yes.
Rather than just like, "Hey, you know, the next arc, which is called the International Assassins arc," there's no spoilers there. Yeah, that one's 18 chapters, we're gonna make that one a movie, and then we're gonna make the next one, which is 9 chapters, a movie, and then the one after that, which is 18 chapters, we're gonna make that one a movie as well.
Well, yeah.
Like, as
I
much as I
think
would like to see the last part, like, I feel like if anything was going to be a movie, it would be the last part,
I
but at the same time, I feel like that pacing between the few arcs just would feel so off
I
to do something like that.
so I agree with you. I was gonna make a comment too to say like we're getting way off, going all over the place, right? Talking about these two. At the end of the day, we're comparing the first Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie to the Chainsaw Man movie and just talking through like
Yeah.
pros and cons of both. Everything that we're
Yeah,
saying about the Chainsaw
that's
Man
fair.
movie is like with an asterisk, right? Because to your point, if we see the movie and we're like, all right, can't wait for season 2, and they're like, FYI, we're gonna release 2 more movies, and that's the rest of season 1, basically, or rest of part 1 of Chainsaw Man. I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, that's not okay.
I'd
Like,
be fucking furious. That would be
yeah,
so
like that,
stupid.
I'd be pissed. Now, I have faith that they're not gonna do that, because again, this arc in particular, just it makes sense as a movie. It makes sense because it to many it might even feel like it's just a non-canonical movie. Legit, like you could go into it not having read anything of Chainsaw Man, watch the first season, you saw like your ending, you're like, all right, cool, we kind of got like the gang's fully here, they know their role, we know what we're after. We saw a little weird tidbit at the end. As a non-reader, I have no idea what it is. For everyone else, they were like, oh, um, but you could go into the movie thinking like it's non-canonical because truthfully, again, it's a side mission. Like that's
You would just be missing out on, like, character names and backgrounds for that, but
yeah,
that's about it.
yeah, but it's not. There's not much to it, right? That's not to like minimize how excited I am for the movie, but that's kind of what it is,
Right.
right? If they go from there to being like, yeah, so we're just gonna do that times 2 for the rest of it, I'm gonna be like, no, I'm good. I'll just wait for it to come out streaming, I guess. I've already read it. I don't need to see it. I'm not gonna go pay another $30 per person to go see 2 more movies. Like, I'm good. Like, that's just stupid.
Yeah,
Again, I have faith that they're not gonna do that, right? But
you would
who
hope
knows?
so,
Who
but
knows? I had faith that Attack on Titan would end with dignity,
ugh,
and it
God,
ended by
why
going, "We're doing a
we
final season, the
somehow
final part
we
2,"
somehow fit Attack on Titan into this
because
conversation.
I'm sorry, it's all these series, like, I will give huge credits to My Hero Academia. Everyone's thoughts aside, because I know there's plenty of fans who adore it, plenty of fans who hate it, mainly because of the fan base that loves it. Right? I'm in the
Yeah,
middle, right?
not
It's a
wrong.
love-hate relationship with that series because it's been great from one season and then just a fucking atrocity the next season and back and forth and back and forth. Like, my thoughts aside, what they've done is they've stuck to their guns, right? They release a season, they release another season. Hey, here's a non-canonical movie just for funsies. Go watch it if you want. They release another
Yeah,
season. Hey, here's another non-canonical movie just for funsies. Go watch it if you want. They release a season, another non-canonical movie, and you have your last 2 seasons, and then it's done. There's no gimmicks.
Yeah.
There's no like frills about it. They're not going to be like, ooh, jokes on you. There's actually going to be one more season, this extra special super season, but it's going to be a limited part, and we're going to release it as basically pseudo movies on Crunchyroll. Like they didn't do that. They stuck with it, and they're gonna stick the landing. I'm sure.
Now,
It's just
imagine if Demon Slayer came out before My Hero Academia.
and set
Would
the
they have
precedence.
done what and would they have and set the precedence that Demon Slayer's done now?
And that's my
What do you think My Hero would do?
that. But I it opens the door, right? That's the problem. I still truly believe that they wouldn't have done that, right? Because they kind of made it a statement almost in releasing those movies to say these are just non-canonical offshoot stories just for the hell of it. You can go see it or not. It won't matter any difference to the actual series that you're watching, right? So
Well,
for them to
go see it because we want money, but you
but
don't necessarily
it's not
have to
like they
see
did
it.
gangbusters though. They didn't like
Oh,
sweep
no.
the theaters, right? Even like in Japan. They was just like we we have more story to tell. We've got like kind of the niceties of My Hero is that with 5 bajillion characters, you can make a ridiculous amount of movies because, yeah, you can actually give them appropriate screen time for characters that are enjoyable, unlike your main handful of characters, which have like 2 redeemable ones out of the bunch. So there's that. But no, I mean, they made it pretty clear, like, hey, if we're releasing a movie, it's not. Could they have, to your point, could they have flipped the script and said, oh, never mind, the last season is going to be split into movies because we saw what Demon Slayer did and they made a cajillion dollars and we want to do that too? Yeah, they certainly could have. I have hopes because they already established the fact that their movies are just offshoots and for funds that they wouldn't do that. But
Right.
exactly what you're saying, and again, I know you laugh, but I'm throwing it under the bus. Attack on Titan kind of set the precedence though. Like, why can't
Yeah.
we do it this way? Right? Why can't we stretch it out? Why can't we kind of do these weird, awkward little like specials or, pseudo movie type releases to wrap it up, make it real fantastical, give it a real like fanfare for the ending, make it a big, big, big thing. Why can't we? Yeah, why can't you? Oh, I know why. Because it's going to suck ass. You know what I don't want to see when a series is ending? 4 episodes of them camping and eating pie. You know what I don't want to see? Sequences where characters are introduced from season 1 and they're like, sorry I have to kill you. And you're like, who the hell are you? That doesn't make it a fun ending. That doesn't make me enjoy watching. That makes me furious.
I am quite curious though that I'm wondering if this Chainsaw Man movie is like a test for the market to see how well it will do to see if they should continue going down this path. Like
Uh,
that is my fear is that this is just a test just to see how well it does.
I
Because like I could totally see them
so what's
doing continuing the trend
what's the
if
next what's the next big shonen? Let's go based off this. What's the next big shonen series that's either airing or set to air that we could reasonably see doing this? You can't say Sakamoto Days because that shit is ass so far. Kaiju number 8, they're already
Kaiju
two.
number 8 started their final arc, like,
Yeah,
their final
yeah.
like,
Kaiju
that to
number
me
eight's
is
basically
wild that
done,
they went that quick. Like, they all the shit that the
dude.
manga readers in the United States complained about being boring as fuck, they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna skip all of that bullshit, and here you go." And I'm
There you
like,
go. I
"Yes, wonderful, great."
here's the thing. When I hear Kaiju number 8, you want to know what I don't care about? Fucking useless backstory. Okay? Give me action sequences. Give me fighting. I don't care where Godzilla was born. I just want to see him fucking rampage through a goddamn city and then people beat the ever loving piss out of him. All right? Yeah, that's a great example of a situation where it's like, hey, do we really need all of this? Is it offering much to the story? No. Can we cut it? Cool. all right, we're into the ending sequence. Surprise. You and I both agreed too. Like there was a huge like swath of like I think 20 plus chapters where I'm like, I cannot get through this. This is boring. This sucks.
Yeah,
And
no,
I'm like,
it dragged
yeah,
for a
yeah.
while, and it lost a lot of
Could
people, and
you
then, like,
could you imagine
finally
could you imagine season 2 if like 50 to 75% of it was just that?
that's what I thought it was, and then I thought that where they are right now is what the end of the season was gonna be.
And that's what I mean. Perfect example of like, hey, on paper, we get it. We understand. It's there's connections to the overlying story or the overarching story. Totally cool. On screen though, people are going to hit the snooze button. It's boring as fuck. Let's figure out what we can do with
Yeah,
it, right? It's it's a strategic decision because it directly impacts the viewing pleasure of a series, okay? Purists aside, I'm sure people can agree on there's definitely parts of a series where you're just like, you know what? This doesn't need to be in it. I don't need to see this, right? It doesn't offer anything. Only a psychopath would be like, every single line must be in this show, or I will piss shit and scream myself to death. Like, no one, if you are that person, I feel bad for you because every series must just feel awful.
yeah, and I'm trying to think of, like, a series that, like, they could actually
I have
probably
one.
get away with this, and I'm like,
I
I
have
don't
one.
know if Dan to Dan could or could not get away with this.
I have one series for you. You're not
What's
gonna
that?
like it. I have one series where I could see them doing a season 1 and then going into a movie. Kagurabachi.
Okay,
I could see them
Kagurabachi.
I could see them doing the, we'll call it the auction arc as a movie.
Mhm.
It's pretty early in the series.
I'm trying to remember what comes
I know.
after that,
I'm
though.
trying to remember too and I can't remember.
I know, I'm like, "Hold on, let me Google real quick
Cuz
because
I'm like
what the fuck?"
I'm thinking of the other series that I'm
It's
rating
like,
like
you're
you.
not wrong, but, like, yeah, because the first 2 arcs cover 44 chapters. No, because then they're in their current arc after that, so no, it wouldn't. It would be very long.
Season
Everything that comes after the auction house is this current arc. They've
Yeah.
considered that the entirety of the arc.
Oh,
I don't think you do that.
okay. Well,
But you're not wrong. Like, if they had a small one in between, I think that that would be
yeah.
A, it would be an awful movie because it's not much going on there. I think that it's a lot of talking, a lot of posturizing, a lot of, like, planning for the future,
Mhm.
and then it gets into the meat and potatoes of where we're at right now. So,
Yeah.
I don't I would disagree. I don't think they'll do it. I'm just trying to think, like, what fucking shonen series are out that I currently read that could feasibly do it. Because
I don't
I
I
don't think there really is one.
No, I don't think
I
there
don't
is
think
either.
Blue Box would go through with a movie. I don't
So
think,
so
what?
we'll end this with a positive, I'll say. Or at least I'll end my thoughts with a positive and say I think we can look at Demon Slayer as an anomaly, as an outlier to what series are traditionally going to be doing. Even those like Chainsaw Man and other high profile shonen series where they're going to just they're going to have it condensed in a manner that makes sense. If it means doing a 2 core, if it means doing a longer ish season, if it means adding in a movie, right? So long as it makes sense for the material that's in front of you and to give viewers a sense of like, this makes sense. I'm glad it's in this format, right? I know people are all up inside Demon Slayer's butt because of just how good it's doing and because all the animation is the best I've ever seen on any screen ever. I get it. But it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to do it in 3 movies, okay? It doesn't. I'm sorry. You could argue because of the
I'm not
chapters
sorry, it's fucking stupid.
you could argue because of the chapter's length that like, "Oh, this actually does make sense." It doesn't, okay? My wife could have left for 30 minutes during the movie and still come back and and could have known exactly what's going on. I could have done the same thing. I like that doesn't make for a good movie. When I watch a movie, I want to feel like I did during the Demon Slayer movie and regretted it the moment I left. I want to feel like if I leave this seat, I'm going to miss so much and I'm going to be lost, right? My wife
Yeah,
was strategic, left during the whatever second flashback during the last fight because yes, there are multiple flashbacks during fights. Uh and came back and was like, "Did I miss anything?" I was like, "No. No, a bear got its head chopped off. That's about it." And she was like, "Cool." I could have taken a
wonderful.
nap during that part and still been like, "Oh yeah, this is where we're at. I know what's going on."
I nearly did. But,
Just yeah, it doesn't make sense. I'm
yeah,
sorry. The Chainsaw Man one does, and whether or not it's going to do as good, I don't think it will. I don't think it'll get even sniff as close as to what Demon Slayer did. I think it will be the superior film because of how it's going to cover the chapters and the manner in which it's going to do it. I think it's going to be perfect in its ability to condense an arc into a movie and have it be fluid, paced well, and enjoyable from beginning to end. Unlike Demon Slayer, please God, don't make me go watch the last 2 movies. Please.
yeah, and to put a cap on it on my end, I do think that everything that you just said of why Chainsaw Man will be a better movie will be a better movie, as well, but also I will not be watching the next 2 Demon Slayer movies in
You
theaters.
say that,
I
but I
I will
need you to.
I
I
know,
need you. I'll pay you. I'll pay you to get it. I'll buy
no,
your ticket. If I'm
I
suffering, you are
you
too. I'll fly to you or I'll fly you up here and we'll
bro,
go together.
bro, these past 2 movies for Chains or for Demon Slayer have been awful, but, like, I'm just so happy that there is not another series that is this popular that we could do this with feasibly. Like,
Yeah.
I think that Chainsaw Man was, but the way people reacted in Japan to season 1, I don't think that it is enough to, like, do the movies again.
Mm-mm.
The only other series that I think that they would attempt this
Oh,
with
fuck.
potentially would be Ichi the Witch, which is a
No.
new one, which hasn't gotten a season 1. I think that that's something that they will try to attempt it with because it is huge in Japan.
Do you want me to No.
Oh,
I just
boy.
remembered what they're gonna I remembered a series. Do you want me to spoil the rest of
And
your
what
night?
series is that? Oh, shit.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Fuck off.
They're gonna do
And
it
with
for
that, good
Jujutsu
night,
Kaisen.
everybody. We greatly
No!
appreciate you for joining us this
No!
week. I don't listen to his bullshit because God, is
It's
it bullshit, and so
happening!
is Jujutsu
It's
Kaisen.
me in the corner, like the rapture guy that just says Jujutsu Kaisen's gonna have 5 movies.
It's
It's happening!
happening.
The
Thank you.
end is
Thank
nigh.
you all. Thank you all for joining us this week. We greatly appreciate it. We will be back next week with a brand new episode. So I will say that we try with the shorts. We've been awful with the shorts recently. So, but we do appreciate any and all follows on our social medias at Baka&Co Podcast. But until next time, everybody, Spark Triumph. We'll see you then.